So let's answer the big question. Is Jedi Fallen Order still worth your time in 2024? This game was a turning point for EA and the Star Wars franchise back in 2019, bringing us a single-player adventure with no microtransactions, which is a miracle for EA. With Jedi Survivor out now, this is the perfect time to revisit where it all began. The game follows Cal Kestis, a Jedi hiding after Order 66 wiped out most of the Jedi. Cal starts out as a scrapper, keeping his force powers on the down low, but an incident throws him back into the galaxy's chaos. What begins as a mission to survive quickly evolves into a journey to uncover lost Jedi knowledge and potentially rebuild the Jedi Order. The story leans heavily on the Star Wars universe, weaving into familiar locations, enemies and lore. But it's Cal's personal journey that stands out here. He's grappling with guilt, loss and self-discovery, all while fighting space goats and stormtroopers. The emotional stakes aren't groundbreaking, but they're solid enough to keep you invested. And hey, it's Star Wars, sometimes you just want to see lightsabers clash and TIE fighters explode. Cal is joined by quirky crew members that bring life to his adventures. Grease, your grumpy pilot, adds comic relief, while Seer, a former Jedi, serves as the team's moral compass. Oh, and BD-1, your little droid buddy, he's adorable, helpful, and the real MVP. The villains, especially the Inquisitors, bring the tension. Trella, the second sister, steals the show as a tragic antagonist with a personal connection to Cal's mentor. While the narrative doesn't dive as deeply into the character development as it could, the performance and writing makes it enjoyable. Plus, the dynamic between Cal and BD-1 alone is worth experiencing. And here's where the game shines. The gameplay is a mix of exploration, combat, and puzzles, all wrapped into a Metroidvania structure. The lightsaber combat is weighty, tactical, and rewarding. Early on, you'll feel outmatched by even basic enemies, but as you unlock abilities and combos, you'll transform into a true Jedi. Parrying feels satisfying, and chaining force powers with lightning saber strikes makes you feel unstoppable, eventually. The game's difficulty levels cater to both casual players and masochists looking for a challenge. It's not quite as deep as Dark Souls, but it captures that learn from your mistakes vibe. And yes, spade goats are a menace. The exploration is rewarding. Hidden nooks hold collectibles, lore tidbits, and upgrades for your health, force, or DB1. The Metroidvania style means plenty of backtracking, but discovering new paths with your upgrade abilities is satisfying. The environmental puzzles are clever without being frustrating. They strike a nice balance between challenging and intuitive, often involving force mechanics like pulling ropes or slowing spinning objects. So even years later, Fallen Order looks stunning. The environments are rich with detail, from the windswept cliffs of Bogano to the vibrant forests of Kashyyyk. Respawn nailed the Star Wars aesthetic, and the orchestral score ties it all together. The sound design deserves special mention. Lightsabers hum with power, and stormtroopers yell hilarious lines in battle. Every detail feels polished and immerses you. But the game's not perfect. The Metroidvania backtracking can get tedious, especially when you just want to progress the story. The map, while helpful, isn't always the easiest to navigate. And yes, the poncho customization is, let's just say, underwhelming. Also, the game's resilience on its sequel to fully flesh out its characters and story can make the ending feel a bit abrupt. It's a solid foundation, but you're left wanting more. So we've established that Jedi Fallen Order delivers a fantastic Star Wars experience. Now, let's dig a bit deeper into what makes it great, where it stumbles, and how it holds up compared to the modern action-adventure titles. One of the game's strongest aspects is how it builds its environments. Each planet you visit feels distinct with its own atmosphere, history, and challenges. Exploring ancient ruins on Zepho, navigating the dense jungles of Kashyyyk, and cautiously treading the cursed grounds of Dathomir creates a diverse experience that keeps things fresh. The lore scattered throughout the game is a treat for die-hard fans. You'll uncover echoes of the past, fleshing out what life was like before the rise of the Empire. These small touches deepen your connection to the world, even if some of the story beats rely heavily on nostalgia. However, this richness comes at a price: the traversal. While the Metroidvania style revisits are fun for completionists, they can feel tedious for those who just want to move the story forward. Having to backtrack through long areas, often without shortcuts, can slow down the pacing. And the combat in Fallen Order is a balancing act. Early on, your clumsy and even basic stormtroopers can pose a challenge. But when you unlock abilities and refine your skills, combat feels fluid and rewarding. The variety of enemies ensure you can't just hack and slash your way through. From agile creatures that force you to dodge carefully, to perched stormtroopers requiring perfect timed parries. There's always a challenge here. Boss fights, while not as frequent as some might like, offer satisfying tests of your abilities, especially the Inquisitors. Still, there's room for improvement. The limited force powers, essentially push, pull and slow, don't evolve much throughout the game. By the end, combat can feel a bit repetitive, especially if you're hoping for more advanced Jedi tricks. So, should you play it in 2024? Absolutely. Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order remains one of the best Star Wars games out there. Whether you're a longtime fan or just someone looking for a solid action-adventure game, it delivers. So it's not perfect, but its strengths far outweigh its flaws. The story, gameplay and Star Wars magic make it a must-play, especially if you plan to dive into Jedi Survivor. And hey, who doesn't want to swing a lightsaber around for 20 hours? And for the price of $4, it's a steal. So, may the Force be with you, and thank you so much for watching this video. If you like this one, maybe you like my next video. And don't forget to like, share, comment, donate, masturbate.